Hey guys, welcome back. This is Phunny, and today we're going to be doing some stripper clips. Basically, a viewer asked how to do them, so yeah, this is a tutorial how to do that. Now, you probably don't need an awful lot of things to get these things done. Some of the stuff I'm going to mention in this video are more optional and kind of to make it look cooler or just work a little bit better. But the bare essentials are pretty minimal. The only real thing that you kind of do need and you can't get around too easily, at least not that I'm aware of, is this PVC foam board stuff. Now it is pretty generic crafting material, but it's also an item that you can't really replace that easily that I'm aware of. So basically this stuff is really good for crafting projects. Unfortunately, where I can get it from in Australia, you can only buy it in like large sheets, so it tends to be a little bit expensive, but like it's so useful for so many things that like it almost balances itself out anyways. So basically, yeah, this is PVC foam board. It's heatable and then it becomes moldable, but it's flexy when it's sort of dry, and it will spring back to position, which is cool. Basically, now I use wood to sort of like work my kind of mold into a good shape. But I was like, well, what if you don't have wood? So basically I had this idea where maybe we can use cardboard and tape to basically get the same effects. So we'll be exploring that possibility today. Sandpaper just to sort of smooth off all the edges and make it so that the darts don't get damaged from repeated use. Stanley knife just for cutting everything out, because you'll need to do some shapes and that sort of stuff. Some markers for marking, usual stuff. Cutting surface. Now, I've got a few different types of darts here, because this should theoretically work for any dart design, really. Other than maybe the rocket ones, probably not, but other than that, yeah. But basically, all we really need is just something that has this sort of internal mag design, because that allows us to kind of whack it in, feed the darts in really quickly, and then we're good to go, kind of thing. So basically I have a couple of other examples as well. The Nerf Ultra 5 has a very similar kind of thing. We've got the Fortnite Nerf shotgun, I guess. I don't know, has a cool like clip thingy that you can kind of, it might work. It's upside down, so it might be a bit weird to get it in there, but it should work. So yeah, give that a go. So yeah, see how we go, eh? Alright, so let's start by getting this stuff out of the way, because the wood stuff I'll try showing you guys later. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start by getting a dart.
All you're doing is just using the dart to measure out how wide the thing should be, and then basically make it as long as you need as many darts.
So basically that's that done. It's actually pretty solid, and that should be fine. And it's actually kind of cool that it's got this kind of inward shape. That's actually going to help us a lot, just because it'll mean that the heating process will naturally curve it in. I'm actually going to do one for the mega dart as well.
Basically same again, but with mega. So yeah, principle same applies, just make it bigger.
Bang on. Alright, so next thing to do is to get our shapes going. Now we're going to basically need the darts again. Now I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to see this, because I have blackish sort of texture on black cardboard, but I couldn't find the red texture, so this is where we're at. Now basically what we want to do is we want to find sort of a center point. Oh, so it looks pretty visible. And basically we want to sort of draw in the tail bit. That's the bit that kind of like holds the thing into the blaster so it isn't just falling out everywhere. That's sort of important. Now basically it looks like I've got that pretty much where I want it to be anyways. That's fine. Always love that. Yeah, so that looks like it's probably going to work right off the bat. And again, we can always adjust slightly if we need to. So yeah, basically we'll get our knife,
Yeah, and just be careful with the knife. Basically, watch your fingers.
Basically
Use
once
adult
it's been heated, it's
supervision
actually like
if
way
you are young
stronger
enough to
for
need
whatever
that.
reasons.
And yeah.
So basically what we'll do is we'll put that out of the way for the moment. Those darts back in there. Alright, so we probably won't need everything here, but it's good to have a little bit extra room just so you can cut, trim things up if you need to. That definitely helps if you're turning power on. Alright, so basically heating it up. It's good to do a full heat first time because, as I mentioned, it changes the properties of this material once you've heated it up the first time, and it basically becomes like thicker and spongier and way more resistant to being bent. So you want to get it fully heated. It'll change in texture when that happens. I don't know if you can see very well, but it's sort of starting to change, but it will noticeably become more like almost like, well, it's like foam, I guess. Yeah, it becomes foam-like, really. So yeah, you can see that's like nothing. So we'll grab our dart shaping thingy. Now it could be a bit hot, so just keep that in mind. Basically, you want to just kind of use it to shape around everything. So it's giving it a bit of a roundness that I wasn't necessarily hoping for. This was a bit of an experiment anyway, so we'll just see how that goes. So yeah, that's pretty good. So what I might do is I might reheat it and then push it against here and see if that gives us a nice shape. Just basically want to work out how high and whatever. Now this is going to be too wide, almost certainly. Yep, so it needs to be like half that width, but it's really good to have extra width just because you don't want to go too narrow and just have it snap off. It's also going to be too wide for the darts, almost certainly. Yep, that makes sense. So that's basically something we can just adjust, and basically this part is what holds everything together. So what we're now going to do is we're now going to get our knife and just kind of shave off a bit because we don't need all this extra material. But I just like having it there in case, you know, I get the measurement wrong or something. I don't know. So basically that's sort of more looking like this now. You can see that the tail on this one is super small. So yeah, that's all we need. So basically at that point we basically just get it in here. Just shave off a little bit on each side. Just make it nice and flat if you can. Definitely helps with like the stability of it when it's sort of sitting on the blaster. Because obviously it's not going to be very easy to reload quickly if you have to fight this thing to stay on the blaster the whole time. So that's still probably going to be too thick. Do a little bit extra off the sides. That looks like it's pretty much perfect. Might still be a little bit on the... Oh yeah! So yeah, that's pretty much how you want it. That's probably still a bit long, so we'll just pull that back. Oh yeah, come on. There we go. How's that looking? Yeah, so it's basically sitting where we want it to, which is nice. Forces that the follower through, like back as well, which means it's really easy to just push darts in. And basically, once the darts are in, it's really easy to just like use them to rest as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing again. So that's, yeah, so I think you could probably do with being a little bit narrower. So I think that's what we'll do.
Basically just
Right,
slightly
so we're just
resizing the
gonna reheat
cardboard
this.
so that the darts will have a tighter fit.
You can see it's gotten thicker, like literally the whole material has gotten thicker. Just because of like the heating process. Yeah. So basically you can see it's like it's starting to lose its tenacity and really moldable again. That's all we really need. Just stick that back in there. That looks pretty good. See if a dart will fit in there comfortably. Just hold it close a little bit. That looks pretty good though. Yeah. So basically what we want to do is we want to get a sandpaper, just sand.
All we're really doing is just trying to make
Yeah.
sure that the
So
darts don't take too much
try
damage
actually
and that it isn't going to
with
get caught in the
actual
blaster in
cascade.
any way.
So you can see that's gripping them pretty well. It might be a bit too tightly, but at least they won't come out in your pocket or something like that, which would be annoying. So basically what I like to do is I like to set it right at the bottom, so you can see you can, you know, throw it around, but they're right at the bottom and they're going to basically come in here like that, and then you can just so yeah,